Welcome back to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold. I'm joined by my friend Brandon Montemayor, and he's with Brandon Montemayor and Associates.
Yep.
A real estate team, if you will.
There you go.
It helps buyers and sellers.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about sellers right now. Seller notes. Let's talk about some tips. Boom, boom, boom. What's the first tip you want to give a seller when it comes to listing their home?
Well, in this market, the market's changing, market's shifting. So first and foremost, you got to hire the right team. And you know that in your business, in our business. If you can't find the right team to lead you through this market and the kind of the ups and the downs and the shifting of it, then you're going to have a tough time. So first and foremost, you have to have the right team in place.
Now, let's talk about that team for a minute, because you have a team in place. Barbara and Alicia and so many others. How does that team look, and how do you recommend it looking?
So, and one of the things we're working on right now is talking about our team approach philosophy. And one of the things we discuss is if you walked into a doctor's office and the doctor who was going to do a surgery on you, he checked you in, took you back, took your vitals, walked out and straightened the magazines outside, you'd be a little bit concerned, right?
Okay, but if he took the trash out, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I do that sometimes at my office.
Me too. That's my job at home as well. But what we tend to see is when a one-person team gets overwhelmed or overloaded, the first thing that goes away is customer service. And our team is huge on customer service. All of our business comes from referral. We're lifelong residents of Santa Clarita Valley, so we know it well. But when it comes to our business, we know that our friends, family, and past clients are the ones who help us go, so we take care of everybody to a very high extent.
Staging.
Yes. Staging is something we have not had to deal with over the last few years, because you put your house up on the market, you put a sign in the yard, and then you just pray it sells, and it usually sold within 2 to 3 days. So now, with more homes coming on the market, which I think we're up to about 510, 520 in Santa Clarita Valley right now, which is up from a low of like 220, 230. Staging is going to be necessary, because before, when you were the only one in the neighborhood with an available home, there's going to be a few people up in the neighborhood who are selling their homes. You need to separate yourself somehow. So staging is going to be important in the years to come. Now,
one thing, a lot of buyers look on the internet first to find a home. So a seller needs to be exposed on as far as their home on the internet.
100%. So we have a huge presence through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Social media is one of the biggest things right now. And if you don't have an agent who knows how to utilize that the proper way, you're going to be in trouble. So we get out to a lot of people. They share with friends. The friends share with friends. And we find a lot of our clients, or find a lot of buyers for our sellers, through social media, internet, and
it gives you more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Something you cannot do without in any relationship, and that's communication.
100% communication, and that's because we have a large team. Communication is huge for us, and we know that for our clients, when you call us, there's always someone there to answer your questions, your phone call. Doesn't matter what it is. We have a method to how we approach this whole thing so that nothing slips through the cracks. Our clients are never left in the dark, and on top of it, they're happy at the very end. So communication is huge. We encourage it from our clients back to us, and we definitely pride ourselves in being great communicators.
And the one thing about the team approach is, if you're with a client, you want to be with the client or the seller or buyer.
Absolutely.
There's someone in your office that you can communicate with.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's, your questions get answered at any time of the day. And it might not always be from me or one of our other sales directors, but there's someone there to answer your question and get what you need. And they're professional, they're qualified, they're experts at what they do.
Now I want to talk about the last thing, and that is the market. And I want to break it down. There's 3 different segments: lower end, middle, and higher. And each of them has a different clientele, a different expectation on how long it's going to be listed, you name it.
Yes.
Let's talk about those 3 segments.
Absolutely. So we have lower, middle, and upper. Right now, the upper end's kind of sitting. So to understand that, you have to know that there's fewer buyers in that price point. The interest rates have bumped up, so that has affected the whole market. But when you look at kind of the front 2, the lower and the middle, you got a lot of new household formations, and that's one of the things that we're watching right now to see how the real estate market's going to do and how the economy's bouncing back. We look at the job rate, and then we also look at household formations. Both are moving in a positive direction, which means things are getting better. So with things getting better, more new households, more first-time home buyers, more smaller homes. So the lower and the mid is still firing. Upper end is still doing great too, taking a little bit longer. But again, that's where we go back to number one and staging. Got to have the right team, got to have the right approach, and we'll get it sold in
the
any
right
market.
exposure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you to stay on. We're going to talk about buyers, but those that are listening to this particular segment, how can they reach Brandon Montemayor and Associates?
Absolutely. Well, you can call me direct. I give out my cell phone, and that's the best way to get in touch with our team. You know you're going to get an answer every time. That's 661-510-2789. And then we have a website that we keep updated daily, and that's www.bringingyouhomescv.com.
Bringingyouhomescv.com.
Perfect. Got it.
All right, well, we're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back.